Buckle up, y'all, because the courtroom just got hit with a bomb, and it's shaken the very core of Diddy's already crumbling defense. Aaron Carter's final recording, yes, his last ever confession, just played in front of a stunned jury. And the reaction? You could hear a pin drop. The man's not even here to speak for himself anymore, but his voice, his truth, just echoed across the room and cracked open the floor beneath Diddy's legal team.
You regret ever getting involved in...
I didn't have a choice. It got bad when I was about 15 years old. I go on my Twitter and I see people saying, you look like you have AIDS, you should go die. I don't understand how I dedicated 22 years of my life to my fans, and now they turn on me.
Let's rewind. Aaron Carter, former teen idol, pop star, heartthrob, was never just a wild child. Sure, he had demons, but those demons, they didn't come out of nowhere. No, they were made. And the trail, it leads straight to Diddy. When Aaron was just 15, barely a kid, he stayed at Diddy's house, not just crashed on a couch, slept in the man's bedroom. And Diddy sat him down like some kind of twisted mentor and told him, this is what you got to do to make it. What does that even mean to a teenager? Now people are asking, was Aaron groomed? Was this the start of something sinister? Jaguar Wright isn't mincing words. She's pointing fingers and her eyes are on Diddy.
I think two of the most tragic stories in Hollywood right now in the past 5 years is Aaron Carter and Nipsey Hussle. Aaron Carter was despicable though, because he begged for help in front of the world. He begged for financial support to help get him a private security team to keep him alive. He said on numerous occasions, if anything happens to me, I promise you, I am not vital. And no one said anything.
Silence breaker for my brother, who is a artist, and now they're after my life. My whole family is after my life, and they're setting me up. And Sony Records owes me $3.5 million, and they don't want to pay me, and it would be in their better interest, just like Michael told me, and Brad Paisley, who sued Sony Records for $10 million. They owe me money, and they're trying to off. And I'm begging you and I'm pleading you, help me raise $100,000 as soon as I can so I can move to an undisclosed location where I am safe. My realtor won't sell my house. They're all involved in this, and they're trying to keep me there. They had cops come and check for a rope in my garage saying I wanted to hang myself. So please trust what I'm saying.
The thing is, you have Jaguar Wrights and Corey Feldmans and Orlando Browns and you have Dame Dashes and you have Gene Deals. You have people that have worked from so many different aspects and so many different, and yet all roads lead back to the same conclusion. There's pure evil here.
As Aaron got older, he started talking. Carefully, cryptically, dropping hints. He knew things that could take down the entire industry. He even reached out to Kanye West. Yes, that Kanye. Just days before he died. And what happened next? Aaron was found dead.
Following developing news tonight in Lancaster, where pop star Aaron Carter has died at the age of 34.
Yeah, the troubled performer grew up in the limelight, but he was in and out of rehab several times in his short life. Chris Wolf is live for us in Lancaster. He's got more on this. Chris?
Yeah, Rick, MB, the street is now cleared. People have been moving in and out of that home behind me all day. And tonight we heard from some of those closest to Aaron Carter, and they all say the same thing. They all share stories of a very kind, loving, caring, humble, yet troubled young man. It's the tragic death of a young performer, and now family, friends, and fans around the world are suffering the loss. Singer, rapper, actor Aaron Carter is dead at the age of 34. Oh my God. Carter's close friend and stylist shared this video of a recent birthday celebration for Carter's fiancée, Melanie Martin. She is also the mother of their 11-month-old son, Prince.
It's very painful, very, very painful. I talked to him 2 weeks ago. He was at the dentist and he FaceTimed me. He said, come over. And I said, I have work to do. I wish I could have just go see him at least one more time.
LA County firefighters say they received a call about a drowning. The LA County Sheriff's Department says a house sitter called 911 around 11 a.m. Saturday to report a man unresponsive in his bathtub. It was Carter.
He said it wasn't an accident. He said a guy named Harley Pasternak, Hollywood trainer by day, alleged celebrity handler by night, was involved. Kanye said Harley once threatened to drug and institutionalize him if he didn't behave. That's some mafia-level stuff right there. And Harley, his name pops up again, right alongside Diddy's. Coincidence or part of a bigger system?
On November 19th, 2016, a week and a half after Donald Trump won the presidential election, Kanye West, now known as Ye, held a concert in Sacramento. Most people in the audience were, of course, young people and presumably Hillary Clinton voters and presumably deeply disappointed by her loss a week and a half before. 2 days later, Kanye West was in the hospital. Well, at the house of his family's exercise trainer, a man called Harley Pasternak, West apparently suffered some kind of mental break. Pasternak called an ambulance to pick him up. West was taken away, and then he was sedated with at least 7 different psychiatric medications, including benzodiazepines, lithium, sleeping pills, and olanzapine. News reports suggested that West had experienced a profound psychiatric episode. He'd gone completely off the deep end. He'd gone crazy, and they've been saying that ever since. West, over time, though, told a very different story. In his telling, after what he'd said on stage in Sacramento, Harley Pasternak was trying to shut him up. Media outlets are not usually in the business of ignoring remarkable things, but they did. And what he posted was a picture of a text exchange that he had had with Harley Pasternak.
It says, I'm going to help you one of a couple ways. First, you and I sit down and have a loving and open conversation, but you don't use cuss words. And everything that is discussed is based in fact, and that's some crazy stuff that dumb friend of yours told you, or you saw in a tweet. Second option, I have you institutionalized again, where they medicate the crap out of you, and you go back to zombie land forever. Play date with the kids just won't be the same. They wanted to medicate me every day. You realize, like, they could have just switched the medication and I wouldn't be here. And on the news, they would have said it was because of a mental issue. Every time they say I'm crazy, it's just when I'm saying the truth. So what's the crazy part, really?
Try, if you can, to imagine a more sinister threat than that, a more chilling threat than that. Do what I say or I will turn your brain to mush. I will destroy your relationship with your own children. I will send you back to, quote, zombie land forever. Effectively, I'll kill you.
Kanye's story doesn't end there. He straight up said Diddy was making threats on behalf of those Hollywood puppet masters. And Harley, he was smack in the middle of it.
No Instagram, nobody living, nobody, and I don't want to hear shit from none of these niggas, Jewish niggas talking about, oh, he's in an episode. Harley Pasternak followed me to the fucking hotel. Then killed Aaron Carter, and now they acting like they won't clear the Backstreet Boys sample. You get what I'm saying? Harley Pasternak, Pusha, your trainer. Harley Pasternak, Jay-Z. You get what I'm saying? And then niggas be hanging around these niggas just for the money or some Mike Rubin shit. I slap the shit out of Mike Rubin. I see that. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, fuck these niggas, bro. Fuck these niggas, nigga. You know what I'm saying? I'm on my Farrakhan Don shit right now, bro. Because guess what? These Yeezys gonna sell. They sabotaged the show today. They sabotaged the Instagram. They cut off the fucking Adidas contract. They did all the shit. Then they want to go get light-skinned Ye. You gotta understand.
Let's bring it back to Aaron. Yeah, he had struggles, addiction, mental health, body image issues, but he was fighting. He was in rehab. He was trying. People close to him said he was on a path to healing.
Everyone keeps trying to tell me I'm diagnosed schizophrenic and bipolar and manic. And that's what I said. And instead they clipped it to where it says, I've been diagnosed bipolar and schizophrenic, all for clickbait.
Okay, well, my ex-mother-in-law was schizophrenic, and she would talk to herself. She would hear voices. When her and her daughter were just around, she would talk to her voices. At one point, her voices told her to kill herself, and she jumped out of a window. Schizophrenia is a very, very serious thing. It's not like just one of these regular.
So you grew up with it.
Well, I've been around it, yeah.
So, talking to me, would you consider me a schizophrenic?
Absolutely not.
Would you consider me manic depressive?
Doesn't appear to be.
Because there's a persona, and then there's what I am behind closed doors, right? And that there's a difference between that kind of persona and then my personal life, and I will stand up for myself, and I will be loudmouth. I'm entitled to my freedom of speech. So when I see people smearing my name or coming at me, I'm gonna come at you with my words first, my intelligence, and I'm gonna try to get you to calm your ass down. And if you don't, I'm gonna have process servers come find you.
When you hear that Wade Robson claimed that Michael Jackson was him and now he's suing the Jackson estate and so forth, well, what's your take on that?
Who's suing?
Wade.
He's suing the estate.
Yes. Him and the other guy are both suing.
Why can't y'all go out and make your own money? Get a job at freaking Starbucks or something, man. Come on. I mean, Jesus Christ, bro. Like, sorry to use the Lord's name in vain, but like, yo, man. Why you gotta go after, he's got kids. He's got an executor of the estate that runs it great raffle. Like, I don't understand why. Don't you see the pattern? They wait till they're gone to accuse them of being pedophiles.
So nothing improper has ever happened to you,
I mean,
Michael.
they don't do that to me. They're calling me a pedophile.
So nothing improper.
And I'm alive.
So nothing improper between you and Michael Jackson ever.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. It's full. I mean, I'm writing a book, and I'll talk about it a little bit more in depth when the book is finished. But absolutely not. And that's why I'm so appalled by it. It doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense about Lou Pearlman because he never did anything like that to me. It never made sense with Michael Jackson because he was nothing but nice and kind and loving to me. I smoked weed with Michael.
Okay. How old were you when you knew him?
I was 15, 16 years old.
Okay.
I did the song What More Can I Give? He called me in to do the song with Luther Vandross. He picked Luther, Usher, Celine Dion, me, my brother, and Destiny's Child, and Billy Gilman. And those are the people he picked to do What More Can I Give?
Well, from your perception, why do you think a grown man like Michael liked to be around children like yourself?
Well, he told me, and because I asked him, you know me, y'all know me now, I'm very candid. I was like, so what's up with like, your thing with like the little kids and like your statues around your house of like Peter Pan and stuff? It's like, what's up with that? Why are you calling it Neverland? Like, you want to live forever? Like, no, he's like, he started giggling and he said, because the best way in the music industry to stay relevant is to always keep instilling a positive message into the younger youth.
Then came November 5th, 2022, just one day after Diddy's birthday. Aaron found dead in his house. At first, it was chalked up to another overdose, but the details don't add up. A couple nearby, Anthony and Amanda Chevelle, heard the emergency call on their police scanner. They rushed over. Amanda had a defibrillator. They were ready to save him, but the house sitter slammed the door in their face, locked it, ran. When the cops arrived, she tried to block them too. Why? Eventually, the report claimed Aaron drowned after inhaling compressed gas. But those results took 5 months to come out. 5 months. That's not normal. Fans started digging. They found disturbing videos Aaron had posted saying he didn't feel safe, that people were after him, that his life was in danger. Even Aaron's own family said it smelled like foul play.
Aaron Carter was found dead in a bathtub in his home in Los Angeles last November. Since that time, TMZ has reported the LA County coroner did not find water in his lungs, meaning he didn't drown. Carter's mother, Jane Schneck, posted photos on Facebook that show the bathroom where her son was found. She wrote on Facebook, "Because of my son's mental illness and prescription drug issues, they, the cops, just wanted it to be something easy that they didn't have the time or inclination to address." Schneck wants a more thorough investigation. She wrote that her son was receiving threats from many people, and she believes there were people out there who wanted to harm him. So joining me to discuss this issue and the death of Aaron Carter is Joseph Scott Morgan. He's a forensic death investigator and also the host of the Body Bags podcast. Joseph, welcome back to Sidebar. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me, Antoinette. Good to be here.
So let's talk a little bit about Aaron Carter's death. He was found in a bathtub in his home. We see from these photographs that there was some discoloration in the water. I have a feeling that was probably from his body releasing fluids following his death. So what can we glean thus far, aside from the fact that he didn't drown? They didn't find water in his lungs, according to this report by TMZ.
Well, if you're talking about the death investigation itself, we can glean the fact that they haven't come back with toxicology results yet. So at this point, and as you know, medical examiners and coroners are, I don't want to use the term notorious, but it takes time for these things to be fully realized because these tests take time. You don't, in a death investigation, you don't want things hurried up. And it seems as though some parties that are involved in this case want it sped up. And that's the most dangerous thing we can do. So it takes time to analyze all of this and not just look for what we refer to as qualitative results, but quantitative results. The mother has already stated that he's got a history of drug abuse. I think that's pretty widely known. However, it's not going to be surprising to find things in the system, but exactly how much is there? That's where we turn to quantitative, and that takes time. What degree they did this examination is still in question. We've got a big indicator. The mother has stated that there was no water found in his lungs. The only way that can be assessed is by conducting a full autopsy, where the body's open and methodically each organ system is examined and samples of those organ systems are taken. And not only are they going to do toxicology, they're going to do histology, which means when we take those little bits of organs at autopsy, they'll cut them into very slight pieces and place them on a microscopic slide and look at them under the gaze of a microscope, highly magnified. And that way you can see if there's any kind of indwelling processes going on, whether it be disease or something unnatural that's occurring, that can give you a specific indicator as to what the cause and perhaps manner of death is.
These toxicology results can take some time to come back. I know where I live, it's often a couple of months, maybe longer, and you really can't finalize an autopsy report until you have that toxicology back. You might have some type of preliminary cause of death if it's obvious through autopsy, but let's say it was a drug overdose. You're going to have to wait for that tox screen to come back. Am I wrong?
Oh, no, you're absolutely right. And you want that because that's going to be key to everything here.
And that house sitter? The only other person inside the home that day, witnesses say she was nervous, carrying bags, whispering to cops for a suspiciously long time. Friends of Aaron say he wasn't suicidal. He was planning new music, focused on being a good dad. So again, why would he just give up? And why did someone stop trained medics from helping him? Now there's buzz that the federal government is sniffing around, not just Aaron's case, but others too, like Kim Porter's mysterious death, like Jamie Foxx's bizarre medical emergency, and guess who links them all? Diddy. And if that wasn't wild enough, the person who could bring the entire tower crashing down is someone from his inner circle.
I think that Diddy's former bodyguard, Roger Bonds, is going to be the man to end it all. Roger Bonds is a name that we've heard brought up a lot during this trial as being Diddy's security, who is around and doing certain things that a co-conspirator would technically do. I can guarantee that the feds came to him and were offering him a deal to snitch on Diddy. And we know that the feds started this whole investigation into Diddy off of Cassie Ventura's civil lawsuit that she filed, and she named Roger Bonds in this lawsuit, and he worked for Diddy from 2002 to 2012. Cassie Ventura's statements about Roger Bonds is that he was there when she was getting abused by Diddy, and she named Roger Bonds in her civil lawsuit as being in the car when Diddy was stomping her head in. Her injuries were so bad that after that, Roger Bonds was the one that had to take her and put her into the London hotel. Now, after Cassie Ventura's lawsuit came out, Roger Bonds came out and did an interview with Vlad TV, and he confirmed everything that Cassie Ventura said and everything that he did. He also claimed that Diddy reached out to him and was trying to coach him what to say to certain news organizations that were going to ask him for interviews because he was named in the lawsuit. That isn't all. He talks about multiple different times seeing Cassie Ventura being beat. Roger Bonds also said that Diddy went to Kid Cudi's house when he wasn't there. He also said that Diddy put hands on his former assistant, Capricorn Clark, who we're gonna see testify on Tuesday. He said that Diddy beat her up so bad that she would leave and then later file a lawsuit against Diddy that he settled. That way she would never talk about the situation. And remember, the feds allege that Diddy and a co-conspirator kidnapped a female victim to make her facilitate the break-in of Kid Cudi's house. Now, we know that Capricorn Clark's testimony is going to come into play about Kid Cudi's house being broke into, because in Kid Cudi's testimony, he confirmed that Capricorn Clark told him that Diddy and an affiliate, which I wonder if it's Roger Bonds, forced her in a car to go to his home. And Roger Bonds also talks about Kid Cudi's car with the Molotov. Roger Bonds also confirmed that Diddy did have a substance problem and he would use a ton of different substances, and he would send members of the Combs enterprise like security and more to go pick up prescriptions in their own name. Roger Bonds said that he would actually do this for Diddy himself on multiple occasions.
Was Aaron Carter silenced? Did he uncover something so dark, so twisted that someone would rather see him dead than let him speak?
Oh, they were calling bomb threats to your house?
They were swatting me, which means they were like saying that I was overdosing, or
getting police to come to your house, basically,
and break down the doors.
Break down the doors.
If I would do like a sleep stream on my YouTube, they'd say, "Oh, he's passed out and overdosed on drugs," and they call the cops. They called the cops on us the other day because we deleted our social medias. So anything they can do to try to continue building cases is what they're doing, and they'll go to fucking lengths that you are unfathomable.
Yeah.
As that documentary says, unbelievable. Harvey Weinstein. So at the same time, like, I will never accept them into my life unless they send me an engraved apology. It doesn't have to be public, but let me let you guys all know something out there. If you ever see us ever again, they apologized.
But Aaron's not the only one people say Diddy tried to erase. There's Cassie Ventura, Diddy's ex. Now, Homeland Security is involved, and guess what they found? A man named Josh Croft from Homeland Security's computer forensics team testified that they recovered 2 laptops tied to Cassie. One MacBook Pro, wiped clean, factory reset. But Croft, he wasn't done. He physically removed the hard drive and found fragments, files that hadn't been fully deleted, including a user account named Frank Black. Sound familiar?
Through all the photos of what investigators seized from Diddy. Starting off here, we've got a couple bottles of what appears to be a lubricant. We've got a lighter and some pink, like, over-the-counter pills. Also, like, how long has this lube been here? Because why is this, like, drawer warped? We've got some pink, like, crushed up powder, which appears to be 2C, probably found within this pill bottle. It appears this is some kind of, like, Adderall prescription, some candies. Here we've got a prescription for Klonopin, which is like kind of like a Xanax, I believe, and Frank Black is listed as the name, which is interesting because that's the name that Cassie told us that he would use for his hotels and his freak-offs. Here we've got a drawer of I believe what we've already seen is just all packed into this drawer. Now, I saw a ton of bottles of Visine as I went through these photos. Also, here is a lot of money. I guess this is some hotel, and this is where he would go and do the FOs at, and I guess that money was for the men that would come through. We've got baby oil all over this place. Like, in every single room, there's a little bit of baby oil somewhere. Here's a picture of the bathroom. It looks like his stuff is still there. I don't know when they came and took these photos. Like, his phone is still there. It looks like all of his stuff, his glasses are still there. They just came in there and then got him out of there and went through it all. Here are some more bottles of lube that look like they were found in maybe a shower or a bath. And this one made my stomach sink. Actually, I have one right here because this is what I put all my files on. This holds so much. You can put a ton of videos and pictures and things like that on there, which to me, that looks like it's evidence with all the FOs, the videos and things like that.
Another laptop was so damaged, dented, and bent, it looked like someone went off on it. Croft pulled the hard drive out of that one, too. And yeah, it made weird clicking noises, but he still got data out. While all that was happening in court, other bombshells were dropping. Kid Cudi took the stand. He said Diddy broke into his home, and right after that, Cudi's Porsche went up in flames. Why? Because Diddy found out he was dating Cassie.
Kid Cudi testimony, it was fiery, figuratively and of course, literally. He told the court that he started dating Cassie around 2011, and in December of that year, Cassie told him Diddy had found out about us. The same day, he said that he got a call from a Diddy employee who told him that Diddy was at his house. So Cudi, he went home and he called Diddy on the way. He said it went something like this. I said, MFer, you in my house? And he was like, what's up? I was like, MFer, are you in my house? And he said, I just want to talk to you. I was like, I'm on my way over right now. He was like, I'm here. Now, when Cudi got home, no one actually was there. But he said his security cameras had been moved, angled away from where they were originally pointed before he left his home. Gifts from Chanel that he had for his family on the kitchen counter, they had been opened. And his dog, who normally roamed free around the house, was suddenly locked in the bathroom. Now you fast forward to January 2012, Cudi testified that this happened. His dog watcher called to tell him that his Porsche was on fire. The jury, well, they saw these images. And Cudi said it looked like the top had been cut open and a Molotov cocktail was dropped inside. The prosecutor asked, what was your reaction to your car being set on fire? Cudi said, what the F? Now, he testified he met with Diddy at a members-only club the next day. He walked into the room, Diddy was alone, and he said he saw this. It was one wall was all windows, and Sean Combs was standing there staring out the window with his hands behind his back like a Marvel supervillain. They ended up talking about Cudi's relationship with Cassie and how neither of them seemed to know that the other was actually dating her at the same time.
Then came Mila Morales, Cassie's former makeup artist. She testified that during Grammy Weekend 2010, she saw Diddy go full monster mode in a hotel room with Cassie. She was terrified for her life.
Leading us off tonight is CNN's Kara Scannell, who has been in court every day of this trial. Kara, despite Kid Cudi indicating that Diddy was behind the Molotov cocktail that he says set fire to his Porsche, he also noted he had found peace with an apology that he received from Diddy a few years later. What happened?
Yeah, so after the Molotov cocktail incident, Kid Cudi said that he reached out to Combs, and because Combs had been trying to get in contact with him and he wanted to settle things. So he said that they agreed to meet at the Soho house. This was in January of 2012. And he said he walked into the room and Combs was standing in front of glass windows with his hands behind his back, which Kid Cudi said made him look like a Marvel superhero villain. And he said that he then had this meeting with him where they discussed Ventura, them dating, and he said that they shook hands at the end, and he said to Combs in that moment, what about my car? And Combs said, I don't know what you're talking about. And so Kid Cudi testified that he thought Combs was lying.
And it doesn't stop. Frederick DeMoore, a Beverly Hills hotel manager, said Diddy booked rooms under fake names Ryan Lopez, Jackie Starr, Frank White, and yes, Frank Black. The records go all the way back to 2006. One report from 2010 found candle wax in a room under the alias Jackie Starr. Y'all seeing a pattern here?
So you think if Diddy, if he beat this case, he going after Cassie?
Yeah. Well, y'all don't know Puffy. Y'all don't know Puffy. Y'all think this man's some sweet homosexual or something. Like, you costing me everything. He's a malicious person. He's had a mentality of I will not lose for so long. Anybody from the smallest, from the janitor to the CEO, if you did something he didn't like, he has got his revenge. From the janitor to the CEO in the building. He don't care how small you are, you're not gonna play Puffy. And she knows she know what I know. Everybody know. That bitch gonna have to move to the south of France. Somewhere. Everybody's scared. The ones who didn't support, the ones who thought he was burnt, they scared. They don't want to see him beat the case. They thought he was fried, which I think he fried, but I mean, me and Baz was having this conversation. She was like, yo, I don't think this nigga gonna do life, yo. I can't see him doing life.
And now Freddie P is saying it loud. If Diddy wins this case, he'll come for Cassie next. So the question is, how far will this go? How many secrets will be exposed? How many more voices will speak out or be silenced? This isn't just some celebrity court gossip. No, honey, this is a full-blown Hollywood meltdown. And Diddy, he's right at the epicenter of it. The Aaron Carter tapes weren't just emotional. They were damning. You could see it in the faces of the jury, in the silence that took over the courtroom like a heavy fog. Aaron's voice hits the walls like a wrecking ball, and now people are starting to wonder how many others knew. How many other stars were caught in this twisted web? Because let's not forget, it's not just Aaron, it's not just Cassie, it's Kim Porter, it's Kid Cudi, it's Jamie Foxx. It's a whole list. The signs were always there, but the industry, the media, they looked away. Aaron screamed for help in his final months. He said he didn't feel safe. He warned us, he tried to fight back, he tried to expose them. But now, his voice is being heard in a courtroom full of suits that used to pretend he was just some washed-up pop star. Not anymore, because now Aaron Carter is the reason Diddy's empire is on the edge of total collapse. People close to Aaron say he was done playing the game. He wanted out, and he was ready to spill. That's why he reached out to Kanye. That's why he kept saying, they're watching me, they're after me. And then, boom, just like that, he's gone. His house sitter, still a mystery. Who was she really? Why'd she run? Why'd she lock the door to medical help? Why was she acting shady with the cops? Why did it take 5 whole months for the toxicology results to come out? None of it makes sense. Unless you start looking at it through a darker lens, unless you accept that this isn't just about addiction or mental health, it's about control. It's about silence. It's about power, and now that power is slipping through Diddy's fingers like sand in an hourglass. Because now, Homeland Security's involved. Forensics experts are testifying. Laptops are getting cracked open. Deleted files are being recovered. Names are surfacing. Fake identities tied to hotel bookings. Candle wax. Mysterious aliases. People shaking on the witness stand. The jury, they're starting to see the pattern. And it's not just one victim. It's not just one story. It's a system. Kid Cudi's Porsche being torched after a Diddy confrontation? That's not drama. The courtroom isn't just listening to legal arguments anymore. They're hearing ghosts. They're hearing the whispers of people who tried to break free and got crushed instead. And the world, it's listening too. Fans are going back through Aaron's old live streams, his tweets, his final interviews, and they're seeing it differently now. They're seeing the red flags. They're hearing the desperation behind his laughter, the fear behind his music, the truth behind his breakdowns. He wasn't crazy. He wasn't weak. He was screaming for his life. And now that scream is the loudest thing in the courtroom. As more testimony pours in, more names are getting dragged into the fire. And you better believe the industry's shaking, because this case, it's shining a light in places that were never meant to be exposed. And guess what? The public isn't looking away this time. They're watching. They're digging. They're demanding answers. Because if Aaron Carter, broken and brave as he was, could risk everything to warn us, even in death, then the least we can do is listen and remember the biggest bombshells, they're still coming. So don't blink, because this courtroom, it's about to become the place where Hollywood secrets come to die.